All right, so let's dive into the Jets with former Jet safety and SNY analyst Erik Coleman joining us in studio once again. My friend, good to see you once again.
It's great to see you as well.
Well, listen, it's been what a crazy week here for the Jets, huh? And the whole Geno Smith situation. And the funny thing about this is the details of this continue to kind of creep out little by little, and now we're starting to wonder whether or not Geno Smith may have been the antagonist in the situation. Did he taunt IK a little bit? If so, what does that say about Geno Smith's maturity level right now?
Well, I mean, obviously it shows that he's not as mature as we would like out of a quarterback. You know, every team I played on, every quarterback I've been around, no one would ever, step to fight him, step to approach him that way, because they command that respect. They're almost like a leader of a member of the front office. The way they conduct their business.
They wear their red jersey for a reason. That's on the field they wear red jersey. I mean, they can't wear red jersey all the time, but you got to know you can't touch the guy.
Yeah, but if you wear the red jersey, you got to act like you're wearing. You got to know that you're wearing the red jersey, and you can't be starting fights. You can't be trying to go make contact with things. But it was a really unfortunate incident. Hopefully he heals right and comes back and starts playing well.
But does it say maybe a little bit about what happened and the fact that we haven't heard anybody? There's not been some outrage against IK this entire time.
Yeah, it's tough. Guys. It's a big fraternity in the NFL. Guys don't want to point fingers. They don't want to do things like that. But, IK was a guy who was liked in the locker room. He was a hard worker. I think that he obviously lost his temper a little bit, and I don't know if it was because Geno pushed his button. But either way, you have to control yourself. You can't go around punching guys and assaulting people in your locker room.
Yeah, I mean, we're not trying to be like the Hardy Boys here. We're not trying to be Sherlock Holmes trying to figure out exactly what went on, because a lot of times these things stay in the locker room. Yeah. But doesn't it say something that nobody stepped in? When they saw that this situation was kind of escalating, none of the offensive linemen were stepping in to stop this from happening.
Yeah, I mean, for all the quarterbacks I played for, you would have had to peel guys off the guy who punched the quarterback. Right. You would have had to get linebackers, offensive linemen. You had to get to a layer of guys to even get to the guy who punched them. So,
could you imagine?
I could not imagine that.
Could you imagine, man, if somebody had stepped to like Eli Manning, what would happen? I mean,
they would never play football again.
I mean, and Geno, and I hate to continue harping on this kid because he's made some mistakes, but if we start to look at the lengthy list of what's happened to him, he was kicked off a plane, he missed a meeting while he was in San Diego on the road, he cursed at fans, now this. When he does come back, can he even win back this locker room?
You know what? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But I think that the frustrating thing, I'm sure, for the Jets is that he was kind of on his way. When I was at practice, you could see that Geno had great command of the huddle. He was throwing the ball correctly. He had a lot of confidence. He was in his interviews. He's upbeat. He's alert. He's being a great leader. He was on his way to doing that. And then this unfortunate incident, and now it's a big setback, and you don't know when we're going to see him back on the field.
Yeah, and the thing with IK as well. I mean, of course, this guy was a 6th-round pick, and he had some promise. He showed some promise in the first year he was with the Jets, but he goes and gets picked up by Rex Ryan. Yeah. I mean, how much of that was Rex Ryan just trying to stick it to the Jets?
You know what? I think it was a little bit of him sticking it to the Jets. But then on the other side of it, you have to think Rex drafted this guy. He did all the research on this kid. He knows the background. He knows what this kid is capable of. And if anyone's going to give him a second chance, it's going to be the guys who brought him into the league.
Todd Bowles says that this might be it for Geno, that we might not see Geno again. Who knows? I mean, at this point now, it's all a big question mark. So now it's Ryan Fitzpatrick at the helm. But Ryan Fitzpatrick and then Bryce Petty. And now a big question mark on the backside of that. I mean, how do you hedge your bet that Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to have the season that they expect him to have?
Well, it's tough. And when guys lose, when guys get injured, it creates an opportunity for someone else. And they brought Fitzpatrick in to back up Geno and to possibly play. So I think they're confident in his ability. He had some success with Chan Gailey in the past, and I think they're hoping that he can be that quarterback they're looking for at least until Geno gets back. But Bryce Petty, I don't think that they want to throw him in the fire yet. He's young. They would like to groom him a little bit and let him mature and let him watch for a couple years before they put him at the helm.
We see how important it is to have a backup quarterback. I mean, that's why Ryan Fitzpatrick was brought in, just in case something happened with Geno. Amazingly, it happens here in the preseason. Yeah. Now it's Ryan Fitzpatrick's team. Now you've maybe got to go and get somebody on the backside of him. Is it a Matt Flynn? Is it a Tyler Thigpen? Do you have to make a trade to go and get a guy like a Mike Glennon?
Well, you know, a trade is possible, but, you know, I think there are a couple, you know, solid quarterbacks who are free agents right now. Like you said, Matt Flynn and Thigpen has some experience with Chan Gailey. You know, those are serviceable backups that could possibly fill the role until something happens, you know, until someone steps up and shows that they can be the leader of this team.
All right, let's talk about the game real quick here. They had their first preseason game, and it was, well, it was not pretty. But one of the things that we noticed, the second team. On the second team, Sheldon Richardson, Jeremy Curley, Jay Samaro, before he got injured. Was the message sent out there that some of these guys don't necessarily have positions locked up?
Well, yeah, you know, and that's what training camp is for. You know, no position is given. You know, you have to work for your position. You have to earn it every year. And, you know, I think in Sheldon Richardson's case, you know, they know that they're going to be without him for the first 4 games. Sure. You know, Jeremy Curley, they brought in a lot of talent around him. You know, you never know, you know, where you're going to fit in. That's why I think you saw him returning punts, doing some things on special teams. And as far as Jay Samaro, you know, Cumberland is a proven veteran. He's been having a good camp. And, you know, nothing is guaranteed.
Well, this is a new defense. We saw a lot of missed tackles. Is this just the first game of the preseason? Does it take a while maybe to learn a new defense, to understand your fits?
Yeah, you know, when it comes down to it, it's just football. And watching the game, I did see some bad fits. I saw some terrible pursuit angles, which caused missed tackles. And I think that a lot of that comes from not tackling. You know, they've only tackled a few times in practice, and those are probably in drills. You know, you're not live. You know, the safeties are coming from 20 yards back. You know, if you take a wrong step, it's going to put you in a bad position to miss a tackle. So I saw a lot of that this week. I think that will improve as we go into the next preseason game moving forward into the season.
And what we have found out is that a lot can happen in 1 week. So I want you to finish this sentence for me for all of the optimistic Jets fans out there, okay? The Jets can win the division if
Tom Brady's suspension gets doubled. Or tripled.
You know what? If he keeps pushing it, it might get doubled or tripled.
No, but it's going to take it's going to take a miracle. You know, it's going to take you know, a quarterback having a Pro Bowl year. You know, they obviously have the talent on defense. They have the weapons on offense. The question mark is at quarterback. So if that quarterback position can step up and play phenomenal, you know, and dominate this league, then, you know, they have a chance to win.
Former Jets safety, our friend, and voice of Stony Brook Football Radio. Thank you so much for joining us in studio.
Thanks for having me.